Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tracy gives Lulu the secret to finding Charlotte. Marty became skeptical when Tracy offered him a drink to discuss some late-night business. Marty wanted to talk about the cease and desist order she had issued against Drew using the Quartermain name. Tracy was tired of Drew adopting the Q moniker. Marty posed his own inquiry. He wanted to know when the family's estate was last inspected. Marty reminded out that the Q property was adjacent to public land. According to Marty, Edward constructed the family crypt on around 20 feet of public property. Marty was prepared to keep the information to himself as long as Tracy let Drew have the Quartermain name. Tracy decided to expose Marty and Drew's deception. As Marty pleaded with Tracy to give in, Lulu entered. Tracy was astonished by Marty's genuine relief upon learning Lucky had awoken. Lulu brought up Valentine and Charlotte, so Marty told her that he had gone through all of his records looking for any clues to Valentine's whereabouts and had found nothing. Lulu requested access to the records, but Marty declined because it would violate attorney-client confidentiality. When Marty left, Tracy exclaimed, "That man is lying to you." She told Lulu that his manner changed the instant she walked in. When Dante returned home, Lulu informed him of Tracy's fears. Dante warned Lulu to level well enough on her own, but she refused. "I am going to bring Charlotte home, and I think Martin is the key to finding her," she said. Laura invited Sunny to her office, where he met with her, Curtis, and Jordan to discuss Sidwell. Sunny was astonished to learn that Sidwell was now working with Drew. "All Drew wants to do is take me down, but I didn't think he would be dumb enough to do something stupid like team up with Sidwell," Sunny said. Laura alerted Sunny that Sidwell and Drew intended to exercise eminent domain on his waterfront property, forcing him to vacate. Sunny attempted to conceal his chest problems as Laura broke the news to him. Sunny was also blunt. "This is the stupidest idea I've ever heard," Sunny said. Laura begs Sunny not to do something hazardous. "At the end of the day, I am still the mayor of this city, and I can't allow it to become a battleground for Drew and Sidwell, or for you, for that matter," she told the crowd. Laura indicated that she informed Sunny as a courtesy, but she and Jordan would do all in their power to keep Sidwell out of Sunny's domain. Laura implored Sunny to pledge not to retaliate against Drew and Sidwell, but a call from Felicia cut them off. Laura was overjoyed to learn that Lucky was awake and announced that she needed to depart for the hospital. Sunny offered to drive her. Felicia was astonished to see Elizabeth at work after what had happened to Cyrus. Elizabeth informed Felicia how Lucky saved her life and referred to him as her hero. Felicia shared her viewpoint. "I have been lucky enough to have some great romances, but it took me a long time to realize that the best kind of love is the kind where you take turns rescuing one another. That is what makes it one of a kind and worth fighting for," Felicia told me. Liz was still anxious that Lucky might leave Port Charles, but she knew Aiden wanted him to stay. Felicia persuaded Liz that she too wanted Lucky to stay in town. Before her appointment with Tracy, Lulu sat by Lucky's bedside, pleading with him to wake up. Eventually, he opened his eyes. Lucky was happy to hear Liz and Aiden were safe and wished to visit them. Before she did, Lulu reprimanded her brother for endangering his life. All Lucky wanted to know was if the cops had apprehended Cyrus. Lulu told him no, but someone did. She then told Felicia and Liz that Lucky was awake. Liz dashed into his room and buried a passionate kiss on Lucky's lips. Laura and Sunny arrived, bringing their moment alone to an end. Lucky said that the moment he met Laura, he felt at peace. "It's true what they say. It doesn't matter how old you get. You still need your mom," he told me. Sidwell went to Charlie's and begged Lucy to help him acquire a beachfront home. Carly and Jack also met at Charlie's, and Carly couldn't wait to inform him that Jason's DNA had been discovered at Cyrus' hideout. Jack thought that didn't sound like Jason at all. He was far too professional to leave any DNA identifiers when he killed victims. Carly couldn't help but get distracted while watching Sidwell with Lucy. "He held Sasha and me at gunpoint, and now he's sitting there like a normal person," she said. Carly approached Sidwell and said, "I almost didn't recognize you without your henchmen or your guns." Jack urged Carly to order another drink while he spoke with Sidwell alone. Jack had a warning. "If you ever bother Carly Spencer again, I'll drop a bomb on you and finish what I started in Africa," he told her. When Jack returned to his seat next to Carly at the bar, he told her that he was willing to give her as much time as she needed to be ready to take their relationship to the next level. Trina and Stella sat down to eat and talk at Charlie's. Stella noticed Trina had some paint on her cheek, so Trina ended up telling her aunt about her time with Kai. Stella was relieved to hear Kai was coping with his injury and that there is more to life than football. Stella inquired whether Trina and Kai were on a date at the museum. Trina didn't realize it was when the evening began, but that changed when she kissed Kai. Before leaving, Trina approached Carly to discuss Jocelyn. They both received a text from her suggesting an opportunity for an environmental research trip to Easter Island. Carly was delighted for Joss. "I think this trip is going to save her life," she added, smiling at Jack. Chase and Dante got together at the boxing gym. Chase informed his pal that he suggested to Brooke Lynn that Finn be their sperm donor, and she was not pleased. Chase felt awful about placing Brooke Lynn in an unpleasant position. Dante informed Chase that it was not his responsibility, but Chase refused to accept this and began hitting a bag. Dante eventually offered Chase some counsel. He could appreciate Brooke Lynn's point of view, but the idea seemed weird to Finn. "I don't know if I could father a kid and then have to keep them at a distance," he told me. Lois questioned whether she had heard Brooke Lynn accurately when she stated that Chase wanted Finn to be their sperm donor. Brooke Lynn realized Chase made a valid point, and the baby would be a part of both of them. She just felt awful for not being thrilled when Chase was so excited about the concept. "As much as I want to have a baby, I want to have Chase's baby, not his brother's," she said. Brooke Lynn tried to see Chase's point of view, but Lois knew her daughter was only trying to convince herself that using Finn's sperm was the proper thing to do, even though she didn't like the idea. In the end, Brooke Lynn realized it wouldn't work. "I don't know how I'd keep such a big secret from my child. It just wouldn't feel right. And the truth would just be hanging over me like a bomb that could go off at any time," Lois was told. Brooke Lynn then began to think about the baby she had given up. She wondered if they even knew they were adopted and if they resented her for giving them up. "I forced myself to not think about my baby for so long, and now that I am, I just can't stop thinking about how they feel about me," she told me while weeping. When Chase returned, he told Brooke Lynn that he had considered the situation and realized that utilizing Finn's sperm was not the best option. Molly confides in Cody in the following episode of General Hospital. Lucky needs a favor. Rick has a warning for Ava. Jason questions Sasha. Do Jason and Sasha devise a game plan? Now that Jason is home and out of his beloved interrogation chamber, he and Sasha can finally discuss their future steps. Sasha put on a show for the PCPD so Willow would believe they were together, but the questions continue. Sasha can't take it anymore from Tracy, Cody, and others, and she wants everyone to stay out of her business. Clearly, she is unaware that she is a pregnant cook at the Quartermaine mansion, claiming a Quartermaine fathered her child. Jason is willing to let Sasha take the initiative, but he knows they must figure out how to deal with this situation for Sasha's sake and Michael's. Will they pretend to be an official couple with plans to marry? We're sure Carly will be overjoyed. Molly's new pal Molly returns to the Quartermaine kitchen with Cody. Is she stopping by to meet him under false pretenses, or is she truly there to see her nephew Danny? Molly and Cody start conversing, and Molly opens up to the Quartermaine stable hand. She is willing to try new things. Could Cody be the one to help Molly become more adventurous and less strict in her life? Could Molly help Cody become more organized and responsible? Christina's retribution. Christina is still upset that Sunny dropped the custody battle and is willing to split custody of Avery rather than fight Ava for exclusive custody. She was confident that she could take Ava's daughter and hold Ava accountable for the accident that sent Christina flying through a window last summer. When Christina runs into Ava at Bobby's, they dispute, and it's evident that Christina is thinking about someone else. Rick warns Ava to stay away, but she doesn't listen. Christina has already decided that the court system is ineffective, so is she preparing extrajudicial retribution against Ava? General Hospital spoilers, this is why Carly is receiving so much hatred. Many General Hospital fans have repeatedly asked why Carly Corinthos receives so much abuse on the show. General Hospital spoilers, this is why Carly is receiving so much hate. It appears that when it comes to Carly Corinthos, or even the character's portrayer, Laura Wright, there are many individuals who either love or despise her. There's no in-between. Viewers appear to be annoyed by Carly's antics or the fact that many General Hospital plots focus around the character. In other words, there is just too much of Carly on the canvas and not enough of the other characters that live in the fictional town of Port Charles. It goes without saying that the internet is plenty with opinions on the subject. Critics have criticized Carly since the 1990s, often for similar reasons. I would honestly be a billionaire if I got $1 every time someone complained about her shooting Tony. Yes, she has hardcore fans, but some of her haters do so with the wrath of their greatest enemies because some people seem to have a vendetta against both the character and the actress, as if they personally know them. Another critic wrote, I have a love/hate relationship with Carly. The most of the venom was directed toward Carly during her early years. She did some nasty things. Regardless, I adored Sarah Brown and Laura Wright as actresses. Nowadays, I mostly like Carly. General Hospital spoilers, what's going on with Carly? There is a distinction between a character being despised for a short time owing to their present plot and a character who is constantly hated regardless of their actions. Carly has been steadily loathed since the 1990s. Tanisha Harper from General Hospital tells Sandy Wilson has a calming effect on her. At first glance, the typical individual would not suspect that General Hospital's Jordan can kick some serious butt. She appears more like a supermodel than a former police commissioner and DEA agent, yet it wasn't long ago that she foiled an assassination plot on Isaiah. Playing a character who can spring into action and beat up bad men in high heels when necessary can be nerve-wracking for the typical person, but Harper discovered someone who helped to calm her down. Tanisha Harper from General Hospital spoke with Woman's World about her intriguing career path. She began her career as a model, landing a modest role on The Bold and the Beautiful with only a few lines. That was the start of me going into acting, she said, adding, it was fun, so my modeling agency just kept sending me out for different projects, and I kept booking them. Harper discovered a place in humor and semi-comic material. Harper, who has been in films like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and TV episodes like Hacks, noted that she thrives on amusing content. However, the fear of being typecast fueled her desire to try something different. I've always wanted to try something different. I wanted to pursue drama, she admitted, continuing, for me to be able to take that leap, it had to be the perfect role, and when Jordan on General Hospital came up, I thought, this is it. I just knew. While the first plot she took on after Brianna Nicole Henry left was dramatic because Jordan and Curtis had split, she found solace in the most recent one. When Isaiah first arrived in the hospital, after she rescued his life from a hitman, she mentioned that little about her character's past was known. But as Jordan and Isaiah began to connect, Harper saw it as an opportunity to explore Jordan's more vulnerable, emotional, and playful side. She went on to say, having this opportunity to have a love interest and show her softer side is fun, and it's going to be great to explore that so the fans can see a more human side to her. Harper also mentioned that Wilson took to acting in a soap opera like a fish to water. Being new, with the rapid pace, all an actor has to learn, and everyone they have to meet, she admired Wilson's calm approach. I loved how he just took it all in stride. She congratulated him for remaining calm and not allowing it to influence him. Tanisha Harper from General Hospital then offered a more intimate information about how she handles new situations in real life. I get anxiety, especially when I first started, and I get all in my head. However, now that Wilson is on the scene, he is impacting her. He has this wonderful way of pacing himself and not letting it get to him, and that rubs off on me, she said, adding, he's a wonderful human being, and I'm very fortunate to work with him, because that's not always the case, especially with love interests. Jason Morgan had taken on a role that was both familiar and dangerous, claiming to be the father of Sasha Gilmore Corbin's child. It was a necessity-driven arrangement designed to conceal the genuine identity of the baby's biological father. However, in a community like Port Charles, even the best-intentioned lies had a tendency to spiral out of control. For the time being, Sasha and Jason had convinced the majority of the town of their contrived bond, but cracks were beginning to appear in the facade. One of the first to raise an eyebrow was Mac Scorpio, whose protective instincts for Sasha had thrown into high gear. Mac was concerned about more than just the technicalities of the deceit. He thought that Jason had taken advantage of Sasha's sensitive emotional state, using her sadness over Cody Bell as a chance to intervene. That was not the case, but Mac's concern was not without merit. Sasha had started to draw on Jason more and more, relying on his strength and stability in unexpected ways. The subtle gestures, the calm understanding, and the unspoken relationship that was developing between them had begun to blur the limits of their agreement. And then there was the kiss. A seemingly innocuous moment, a part of the act designed to sell their story. But for Sasha, it meant something. She did not want to confess it, even to herself. But the more time she spent with Jason, the more difficult it became to deny her heart's reaction to him. The question was, did Jason feel the same way? Was his heart already elsewhere? A complicated connection. There were moments between Jason and Sasha that felt unmistakably genuine, but there were also times when Jason appeared preoccupied, his thoughts elsewhere, his focus faltering. And then there was Anna Devane. For those paying close attention, there had been an undertone of something unspoken between Jason and Anna for weeks. Their paths had met unexpectedly, and the attraction between them was palpable. There had been that kiss, which occurred in the midst of mayhem at Jen Sidwell's estate. It had been reckless, a rush of passion fueled by adrenaline and risk. Or so they told themselves. But even here, in the protection of Port Charles, the significance of that moment had not diminished. In the constraints of an interrogation room, their statements had an intensity that exceeded normal talk. Their mutual regard, common experiences, and silent understanding were all contributing to something larger. Something Sasha might not see coming. A house of cards ready to fall if Sasha was developing genuine feelings for Jason. The idea of him selecting someone else could break her in ways she wasn't expecting. What if that someone else was Anna Devane? It may completely ruin everything. All it would take was one moment, one slip-up, one unintentional kiss to bring Sasha's carefully built story crashing down. Jason may appear to be a man caught cheating, but it won't be long before people start connecting the pieces together. Willow Corinthos, in particular, was perceptive enough to see what was going on. She'd seen Jason cover for Michael Corinthos before, and she wouldn't allow history repeat itself. However, even if the truth about the baby's paternity was eventually revealed, the emotional repercussions would be equally profound. Sasha had already experienced so much loss. If she allowed herself to fall for Jason just to discover that his heart belonged to someone else, it could be another crushing blow. And Mac Scorpio's suspicions? They might prove to be terribly accurate. The storm that's coming. Port Charles had never been a community that kept secrets hidden for long. Jason, Sasha, and Anna each was on the verge of something unexpected. Would Jason and Anna succumb to whatever was tugging them together? Would Sasha's heart survive if the truth was revealed? What would happen if the true father of Sasha's kid was revealed? One thing was certain, no deceit lasted indefinitely. And for everyone concerned, the day of reckoning was approaching with each passing day. Did Brad just ruin his chances with Lucas on General Hospital? Brad has done it again and may have damaged his hopes of reuniting with Lucas. Brad from General Hospital never learns. He can't stop himself from getting into trouble and has probably blown it again. Lessons not learned. Brad had a penchant for switching blood tests and embryos, yet Lucas still loved him. The pair married, and Brad tried to mend his habits. Unfortunately, he constantly manages to get himself into a horrible predicament. Brad's poor judgment caused him to make the biggest mistake of his life. When the baby he and Lucas adopted died, he switched infants with Nellie Benson while keeping Wiley as his own. That was bad enough, but he hid the truth from his husband, who had no idea he was parenting Michael's baby. When the truth came out, Lucas divorced him and sent him to Pentonville. His own worst enemy, Brad, was freed from prison and attempted to turn a fresh leaf. He got his work back at GH and was overjoyed when his ex came back to town. After a while, Lucas appeared to be softening toward him, and he may have regained his love. Not so fast. Brad is still Brad, and he is currently in another problem. First, the lab technician blackmailed Portia after discovering she had manipulated Heather's blood test. Then he promised to help Cody bat with his Aunt Selena, the mafia. Brad now presented the proof against his boss to his aunt. Lucas will never get back together with his ex after learning of his latest fiasco. Brad may be the dumbest person in Port Charles. He is digging himself a larger hole when coming clean from the start would be the best approach. Will he ever straighten out? Share your opinions in the comments. General Hospital fans are attacking Steve Burton's ex-wife. It appears that the drama will not finish. Sherry Gustin, Steve Burton's ex-wife, is being attacked by fans of the show General Hospital. General Hospital fans attack Steve Burton's ex-wife. As our loyal readers are probably aware, fresh court filings have revealed Steve and Sherry's text communications to each other. According to Radar Online, Sherry became rather nasty about Steve's living situation. According to what we know, Steve was not thrilled that he had to relocate to Tennessee to be closer to his children simply because he was spending less time with his then-girlfriend. It goes without saying that the internet had a lot to say about the situation. Some even stated she should stop her mouth and for the sake of their daughter not go trashing her dad and make it more freely accessible to view her. Sherry, you are basically trash for getting knocked up by another man's baby while married. Also, according to previous comments, you have another. Are you a role model for your daughter? Think not. Another critic wrote, I would be offended if my highly personal information was revealed, but isn't that part of being a popular celebrity? Maybe it wouldn't be as acceptable if some of the fans didn't want to know everything about the actor. There was also this comment, I think it's nobody else's business, and you people are pigs for continuing to talk about it. He isn't the first soap actor to face a difficult divorce or custody battle, and he won't be the last. General Hospital news, what's really going on between Steve and Sherry? He has nothing to be humiliated about, except for the fact that he was married to a cheating, lying woman. Why not leave them alone to go about their business? It's hard enough without you media people always bringing it up. Who is Ada Turner from General Hospital? Details are revealed as Nazneen Contractor returns to the show. Assistant District Attorney Turner, played by Nazneen Contractor, returned to General Hospital this week, sparking new strife in Port Charles. Turner, who was last seen fighting Rick and Ava at Ava's trial, has returned, and this time she appears to be targeting Jason Morgan. Contractor's reappearance exacerbates Sonny's enforcer's dire situation. Turner first emerged on Tuesday, February 25, 2025, as Cyrus Renault's disappearance shook the town, leaving Jason caught in the middle. Brennan managed to accuse Jason by placing evidence that may make him appear guilty. Even though fans are aware that Jason is innocent, Turner's drive to obtain justice may force the probe to court. Current plot dynamics on General Hospital. Ada Turner's return to Port Charles occurred at a critical time, with Jason Morgan suspected of Cyrus Renault's disappearance. Even though Brennan manufactured the evidence, Jason appeared guilty since he had the motive and means, and even threatened Cyrus publicly. Fans know Jason is innocent, but may Turner view this as an opportunity to finally put one of the town's most dangerous individuals to justice? Turner's adherence to the law makes her a formidable opponent. Turner questioned Drew's alibi for Cyrus' disappearance in a heated discussion. Drew didn't help Jason's situation by denying the charge, leaving him to face with Turner's suspicions. As the investigation progresses, Jocelyn may have evidence that can free Jason. Off-screen, Nazneen's link to her real-life husband, Carlo Rota, provides an intriguing twist. Even though their characters haven't had much interaction, the fact that the actors are married adds to the charm of her reappearance. A brief summary of Ada Turner's journey on General Hospital. Assistant District Attorney Turner arrived in Port Charles as a powerful and courageous presence in the courtroom, eager to take down the town's most dangerous people. Turner, played by Nazneen Contractor, rose to prominence during Ava Jerome's trial, where she faced off against Rick Lansing. Even though she lost the lawsuit, her desire to seek justice shown that she was not afraid to confront strong people. Turner rapidly became recognized for her firm stance against organized crime, a rarity in a community where mobsters like as Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan frequently escape prosecution. She didn't buy into the idea of portraying hitmen as heroes, and her forthright encounters with characters like Anna Devane demonstrated her commitment to the law. Despite her strong personality, Turner's courtroom losses, particularly against well-known criminals, only strengthened her resolve. Every failed case increased her ambition to clean up Port Charles. With her return, it is evident that she has not given up on bringing justice to a town that always seems to fall between the cracks. Lulu begs Lucky to wake up. Brennan is holding secrets from Carly, Sidwell has plans for Lucy, Martin needs to talk to Tracy, Lois attempts to comfort Brooklyn while Chase lashes out, Laura tries to keep Sunny in check, and Lulu asks Lucky to return to them. Carly joins Jack at Charlie's pub for an evening out, and she jokes, "What kind of trouble have you been stirring up?" Oh, she has no idea. How long can Brennan keep her from learning what he did to Jocelyn? Sidwell and Lucy sat at a table in the pub. "I have a reason for inviting you here," he admits. What may his diabolical plot be, and how does Lucy fit in? Martin visits Tracy at the Quartermain home, but it is not a social call. "It's time we revisit the C. Sandazis discussion," he tells her. Good luck convincing Tracy to let up her vendetta against Drew. Brooklyn is still unsure about how she and Chase will start a family together. "You need to be sure this is what you want," Lois encourages her daughter. Chase, still wounded by his wife's reaction to his proposition that Finn be their sperm donor, goes to the boxing gym to let off anger. "I just need to hit something," he says Dante. Sunny is eager to exact revenge, but Laura tries to calm him down. "There's no room to retaliate," she insists. But will he listen? Lucky remains unconscious in the hospital following Cyrus' murder attempt, and Lulu takes turns sitting by her brother's bedside, pleading with him to wake up. "I can't lose you either," she cries. Lucky's near-death experience, Tracy and Martin's clash, and Sunny won't be beaten. Felicia Scorpio runs into Elizabeth Baldwin just as she is finishing off her shift at the hospital. Felicia is astonished to see her working so soon after Cyrus attempted to kill her, but Liz reminds her that she has 3 children to support for. They discuss Lucky Spencer and how his recuperation is going. Liz is overjoyed that he will be okay for their son's sake, and Felicia reminds her that Aiden Weber isn't the only one relieved. Both acknowledge that they are unsure whether Lucky will choose to stay in Port Charles following the events of the last few months. Meanwhile, Lulu Spencer is at her brother's bedside when Lucky awakens. She runs to collect Liz, who kisses Lucky as soon as she sees him. She and Lucky agree that they will have a lot to talk about later on. Harrison Chase's suggestion falls flat across town. Brooklyn Quartermain informs her mother, Lois Cerullo, that Harrison Chase has proposed that his brother be their sperm donor. BLQ informs her mother that she did not respond favorably to the suggestion, and he then runs off to the gym. As they speak, it becomes evident that she will never be comfortable having Chase's brother's child. There is simply too much to contemplate in such a decision, and she is concerned that rather than bringing the family closer together, it may potentially split them apart. Chase walks to the gym and sees Dante Falconeri. Chase makes good use of the punching bag while telling him about requesting that his brother donate sperm. Chase recognizes that the more he discusses it, the less likely it is to be a good idea. Trina Robinson confides in her Auntie. Trina Robinson meets up with Aunt Stella Henry at Charlie's pub and tells her all about the painting community class she did with Kai Taylor, which turned out to be a date. The kind that concluded with a kiss. Stella reflects on young love and is truly pleased to see Trina happy. Lucy Coe meets Jen Sidwell at an adjacent table, and he reveals that he has an ulterior motivation for visiting her. He wants Lucy to make an offer to Sonny Corinthos on his behalf to purchase his waterfront property. Carly Spencer is having a drink with Jack Brennan in the pub when she notices Jens at the next table. She eventually confronts Jens discreetly, telling him that she sees him very well. Jack interrupts and requests that Carly order him another drink while he has a moment alone with Sidwell. Jack introduces himself and warns Jens that if he ever bothers Carly again, he would drop a bomb on him and finish the job he began in Africa. Jens returns to the table where Lucy is seated, seeming apprehensive. She quickly declines his offer and informs him that she will not approach Sonny. Before leaving Charlie's, Trina pauses to chat to Carly about the last-minute text they received from Jocelyn Jacks about going to Easter Island. Both are thrilled for her, and Jack watches on with a wide smile. Laura Collins is at her office with Curtis and Jordan Ashford when Sunny arrives. They inform him that Sidwell and Drew Quartermain have teamed up to try to take his beachfront property through eminent domain. Sunny tells them he will not roll over and play dead, and they agree that the original location for the esplanade, not his property, is the best option. They intend to resist Drew's proposal to the greatest extent possible. Laura receives a call while they are conversing, informing her that Lucky is awake, and Sunny offers to drive her to the hospital. After they leave, Curtis tells Jordan about his plan to have Congressman Henderson block Drew from the inside. Jordan is also expecting to acquire some information from Sidwell. Tracy Quartermain and Martin Gray are set to clash over the paperwork she has filed in an attempt to prevent Drew Quartermain from using the family name. She mocks him briefly before he demonstrates his leverage. The family estate is built on 20 additional feet of ground that the Quartermains do not own, and by coincidence, that is where the Quartermains are buried. Martin warns Tracy to abandon her petition or he'll have a shovel outside digging up bodies the next morning. Tracy dug in and refused, calling Martin's bluff. Lulu interrupts their conversation, asking whether he has uncovered anything that will assist her find her daughter. Martin claims he hasn't, but he is plainly agitated and flees. Laura is finally at Lucky's bedside, relieved that he is awake. He assures her that it is true, no matter how old you are, you still need your mother. He stated that as soon as she entered the room, a sense of calm came over him. Laura and Liz talk outside of Lucky's room, wondering if he'll stick around after all this. Sunny spends a few minutes with Lucky, who informs him that he thought he was dying and had heard his father's voice. Not in his brain, but as if he were in the room with him, reminding him that it wasn't his time yet. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.